Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Masters Muscle Podcast. It's been a while, but the dynamic duo is back. We
We are
got
back.
Batman and Robin, Hall and Oates, or maybe Beavis and Butthead. I don't know. But Vin, it's good to see you. It's been a while.
It's been a while. I'm glad to be back. Yeah, we got to get these going again. I yeah, it's been I had to put this on the back burner to focus on a few things.
So, Vin, before we go to the most recent event, you doing the hat trick here. I don't know if we ever talked about Romania, you going into the Masters last year. I don't know if we kind of recapped your prep and how everything went, but I don't know if you want to talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, that's great. We can start there. Even going back a little bit further than that, because after I did the Masters Baltimore Pro, I wanted to take a break. I didn't want to compete in 2022. I was going to just take off. And I can't remember the timeline, but someone approached me and said they're going to have the Masters World and you can't take a break. You got to compete in it because you got to be the first one to win it.
Yep.
And that person doesn't realize how much pressure they put on me, in a sense of like I'm my own man, right? I can make my own decisions, but and we all are. But when you get somebody from the IFBB saying that to you, you think, oh shit, I shouldn't. Maybe I should do this, And I just didn't have the energy to train for that show. I just needed a good break, and I ended up in fifth.
Was it a competitor, Vin, or like someone of the powers to be, like kind of saying this?
It was a person.
Okay.
Leave it at that.
All right.
That. And it's cool. I'm not mad at this individual. But they shouldn't do that to competitors, like put the pressure on them. And I had no business even thinking of like training. I needed a good off season, and a good rest. And I didn't like, I really at that point was thinking of possibly trying the New York Pro again when I did decide to compete.
Mm-hmm.
The Masters Olympia wasn't on the radar yet. Like we didn't know it was coming.
Yep.
And then somewhere I don't know, in the middle of the summer, it was announced for 24. And by that point I was really burnt out and tired. And after the Masters World, I was sloppy. I was eating everything in sight and just I didn't have any regimen. I didn't have any guidance for myself. I didn't have any discipline. And I was eating shit, eating pizza, drinking beer. No, you're laughing, but I was like, I just needed, like, I thought, what could reset me? Maybe I just need to get off the diet, not train,
Yep.
and go backwards a bit. But it only put me in a bad spiral downhill. And then when I started trying to train for the Masters Olympia, again, it was like I was going uphill, and it was a battle. I just wish I had taken off in 23, maybe 24 would have been a lot better.
Yep. So I know you gung ho for the Masters. Was it the body not keeping up with the mind? Because I know mentally you look like you were gung ho. Was it just not cooperating, like mind and body?
It was one of those scenarios where when you see somebody smile, they're really hurting inside.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
when I put it was just a facade. I didn't want anybody to know or see that I was struggling. So I just acted like everything was good when it wasn't good at all.
Yeah.
And I said to myself, let me put it out there. Let me put up the training videos, and it really just everything backfired on me because I was getting so many texts all day long from people.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, I can't get away from this. I just can't get away from the social media end of it. And, I was, you're kind of like brainwashed sometimes thinking you need to do this stupid stuff and you don't,
Yeah. I don't know. I think it's almost like part of the business, though. When we're a professional athlete, the fans want to see this stuff, but I know it's that compromise of training or whatever you do in your business, and
Mhm.
obviously trying to appease the masses.
I think I would have been okay if I wasn't so burnt out.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, I was recently, I think we discussed this. I told you I was diagnosed with Epstein-Barr.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't know I had it. And it could just be debilitating. It can just knock you on your ass. And sometimes 2 or 3 days I'd be on the couch and I couldn't get up. And I didn't know what was going on until I found a good doctor. And he did my blood work. And at first, well, a long time ago, I thought I had Lyme disease, but I don't have Lyme.
Yeah.
And I had blood work done, and got that taken care of. And competing, moving forward, it was something that I took a page from Guy Cisternino, what he told me a very long time ago, which I never applied, which I applied from last year's Masters Olympia to this year. And
Right.
we were doing some work together out on a military base down South Jersey, doing an expo. And Guy was telling me that it was after the Olympia and he hadn't touched a weight in like 6 weeks.
Wow. Okay.
I'm like, what are you talking about? 6 weeks? Something to that effect. And he was saying, well, I was talking to Branch, I talked to Ronnie Coleman and all those guys, and they don't go into the gym sometimes 1 month, 2 months after the Olympia and let their
Mm-hmm.
body recover. And I thought, is he lying to me? Is he bullshitting me? But then I started thinking about it, and it made complete sense, but I just never did it. And I thought, this is the right time to do it. So last year, after the Masters Olympia, I didn't touch a weight pretty much half of October, all through November, and into like December. It was like almost 8 weeks. And
Were you in your head? Were you in your head though? Were you able to seriously put it down? Or are you like thinking, "Crap, I'm going to lose"? I got to get in there. Or were you able to really just zone out?
Nope, I zoned out.
Okay.
I thought it can't get any worse than it is, and I want to continue competing, but I want to do it right. I want to do it smart. I need a reset button. How do I do this reset button?
Mm-hmm.
And so I got all the eating crap out of the way, and I got organized again, and it reset me, and I was like, boom, we're on. And I knew that I was going to do the Daytona as a warm up,
Okay.
and the Hurricane as my show. A lot of people out there don't understand warm ups, and they don't, because I come from the 90s. This is what we
Yeah.
did. We did warm ups, and it really puts me at ease almost. It's almost like an exhibition to me. I couldn't give a shit that I take third place when people say, oh, Vinny's off. I'm not off. I wasn't off. I was just on track for the next one, which I was, where I ended up taking first in all three at the Hurricane and qualified for Olympia.
Explain this for a minute here, because obviously it's been many, many moons since I competed, and I've only competed a handful of times. As a professional, why do people go into it as a tune-up show, and why not give it 110% regardless?
I don't know. I can't speak for anyone else.
Okay.
I only can speak for myself. I, believe it or not, and this is going to sound weird, but as I'm older now, it's weird to be on stage in posing trunks. It's like I'm 57. I started doing this when I was 17. It was 40 years ago, and
Yeah.
like it's a kid's game, and I'm an adult, and I just feel weird. So I like getting on stage, getting comfortable. And now when people say get comfortable, you've been doing this, you've done like 2,000 shows, but I like to do a show with no pressure, just relax, go do it. I'm not, maybe 90% ready for it. My mind is solid when it comes to a warm up. You
Okay.
can't like say anything negative. I know what I just did. I know I'm taking third. I know the guys who beat me. They're not beating me in the Hurricane. That was my mindset. So with respect to everybody, it's just you got to be a competitor. I didn't want you, when I go to a warm up, I'm just a contestant. When I go to train for a show, I'm a competitor. It's a big difference.
Vinny, I'm going to stop you off. So this gentleman, Eric Johnson here, that's chiming in, says, "Hey, brother Vinny, I've been following you since your days on USA Muscle on DVD."
American Sports Network. Yeah, American Muscle. Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're going back a long ways, where they'd air that on Saturday mornings on ESPN. Yeah.
But you weren't in your unitard or your colored spandex. I don't remember you wearing spandex. So were you a spandex guy?
No,
Or
only
was that Flex Wheeler and Cormier, I think.
only for a photo shoot. Only for a photo shoot.
Okay.
Never trained. I tried. I would be like, yeah, this is not for me, and I take them off and put some baggy basketball shorts on, some Jordans.
Oh my god. So okay, so you reset back in, I guess, January. You reset, you put the pedal to the metal again. You say, okay, you're gonna do Daytona and you do Hurricane. And I guess that explains probably why you were kind of dark. I know you told me in confidence, and Sean, look, I'm gonna compete, keep it between us. But obviously you were very dark on Instagram. Like, I don't think anybody knew you were competing except maybe a small circle. We'll call it that.
You know, so a long time ago when I was on a local level here in Jersey, people would say, hey, you have to go to Diamond Gym so John Kemper sees you. It's the only way you're going to win a contest. You have to get political.
Yeah.
And I just like, that's bullshit. Just show the fuck up and destroy people. Be in your best condition. If you let that shit get in your head that I need to go have someone look at me, then you take part of that and not give 100% to your train. It's a real mind game that you play with yourself. I went, on the other hand, and said, I don't need anybody to look at me. I'm going to step on stage and do all my talking there. So I took that mindset, that attitude for this contest. And I thought to myself, okay, does anybody give a fuck if I post? No, nobody cares. Nobody gives a shit.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, no, I'm pulling back. I need to make the madness stop. I'm not going to recreate what happened the year before. And I posted. I even talked to Jimmy Mentis about this. And Jimmy even said, dude, just post, but don't make an announcement.
Yeah.
Don't say you're going to compete. Just post a video, do leg press, some squats, benching, whatever you're doing. Just post it, but just don't make an announcement. And it didn't hurt me. It didn't hurt me because if that's the case that you need to post, well, Steve Weinberger was the head judge. And if you're going to tell me that Steve needs to see you on social media before you go and step on stage, well, he didn't see me on any social media announcing I'm competing. He only knew it when he saw the paperwork, that he saw the lineup of who's in the show. And I walked on stage and he put me in the middle. I just got away from all the bullshit that we believe in, or the sport believes in. So I just got away from it. Got away from the head games. Put the blinders on, and I kind of went about it like it's breathe in your nose, out your mouth, relax. Every day was a day to challenge. I just let me conquer the day. I'm not worrying about tomorrow. And I took day by day by day, and I saw a pattern where how my body was reacting. And this year, it was a twofold. I worked with Fakri the year before.
Yep.
And I was a little embarrassed because I didn't give him 100%.
Okay.
And if I'm going to work with somebody, got to give them 100%. I didn't give him 100%. But we're cool. We're cool. We talked about it a little bit. He knows. He knew it. He knew it before I knew it. And when I started to think about competing, and anybody out there who has that tunnel vision knows that sometimes almost you get into this tunnel vision where you can't let anyone in. And I didn't know if I wanted to commit to anybody. I didn't know if I wanted to call Fakri. I needed to find who I was again.
Sure.
I need to find me, because that competitor was getting his ass kicked for 2 years. I went from winning shows, demolishing people, to get my ass kicked. And now I'm like, wait a minute, we got a reset button here. We got to do this. And I didn't want to talk to anybody about what I was doing, because what would be the first thing if I told somebody I'm going to take 2 months off from the gym? You can't afford to. You're going to lose size.
Yeah.
Don't do that. But I was dealing with the Epstein bar making me tired. I was burnt out from competing. My mind was just mush. I was like, I don't like this I was almost at the point where I don't like this sport anymore. I think I'm going to walk away. But then I
Right.
thought about it and I'm like, this is not how I want to walk away. I want to win. I want to, at first, actually, I thought I was going to do an earlier show, but that didn't work out because I just needed more time with some off-season stuff and, packing some size on and training. And the timing wouldn't have been right. So I just let it flow into, I knew, Daytona and the Hurricane. And my friends, Jimmy Bryan and Eric Berger, were talking to me about their coach, Jason Hebert.
Okay.
And, at the time I was like, this is going to sound funny, but it's like, like when, back in the day when you're a kid and you break up with a girl or a girl breaks up with you and you're like, I don't want to date anymore right now. Right now, I just want to it's me time. It's all about me.
Sure.
And it's not that person, it's me. And, and then you're in the grocery store and you see somebody like, oh, sparks fly. So then you didn't plan that. So I wasn't planning on working with anybody. I was just doing my own thing and finding myself and just closing the door on social media, blocking everything out. And people were texting me, are you competing this year? Didn't even answer the text. I wouldn't answer the text. Like you text me, I didn't answer you back, but I called you and we talked.
Yeah.
But I can't tell you how many people I just did not call back. You're going to tell me how you think I should lead my life, and I'm not going to allow you to do that, which I allowed you to do that last year, telling me how I should train. And I probably asked way too many questions too, because I like to learn. People don't realize, I'm not asking you because I don't know what I'm doing. I'm asking because I want to see your outtake or intake or output, whatever you want to call it,
Sure.
theory on how to do this exercise or how the diet works or whatever. I'm asking to get a different perspective on it, which people don't realize. I'm not a fucking idiot. I'm doing this for 41 years. I'm not asking you because I don't know what I'm doing. I'm asking you because I want to have a good ground conversation and talk about a topic. But it turned around and people were starting to look at me like, Vinny Galanti has no idea what he's doing. And that wasn't the case.
Yeah.
So I had to shut all that off. And that little video clip that you see on I think it's a YouTube clip. Christopher Walken talking about the lion, and they're pecking at him. The hyenas pecking at him, and then one day he has to wreak havoc on the jungle. So I felt like I was getting picked at, back. And then once I got my shit together, my blinders were on, and I knew what I was going to do. I knew what I wanted to do.
So, Vinny, was there something specific that got you fully motivated again? Did you go back in the archives, look at old pictures of yourself? Did you just kind of talk internally and say, like you said, I don't want to end, in the Romania clip, or what really switched you? Because it sounded like you were checking out for a minute, but then you checked back in.
I have a strong prayer life that probably nobody really realizes about me. I pray all day long. I believe in God.
Yep.
And I just left it all to him. I just prayed and it was in his hands. And I just, like I said a moment ago, I just did it day by day. I just went back to the drawing board. I didn't worry about tomorrow. I didn't worry about what I do today has to affect my training today.
Yep.
And then I wake up in the morning and look at myself and I'm like, okay, yesterday worked. Let me do that again. And then as time went on, there was some tweaks here and there. And for anybody out there that knows me, oh my God, I cannot stand progress pics. And I didn't take one. I just wouldn't take one. I'm like,
yeah.
Because you see the end product and you think that's kind of like how it starts. But for me, man, I got wide waist, my stomach's hanging out. I'm Italian. I get fat in the stomach. And I don't want you to see that. I don't want anybody to see that, right? I don't like the way I look, and I didn't do it. I just trudged away every day. And as we were getting closer to Daytona, now I speak to Eric Berger quite often, and Jimmy, not so much Jimmy, but with Eric, and he was telling me how he was really impressed with Jason, and I said, all right, let me give this guy a call. So we started talking, and again, I wasn't looking to work with a coach. I wasn't looking for somebody to take the reins. I was perfectly fine what I was doing. And maybe like 3 weeks before the Daytona, we started really talking, and he gave me some input, and I committed to him. I said, I like this guy. I don't know
Yeah.
what it's, I don't know what about it is. I don't know what about it that I like about him, but it just clicked for me. I wasn't looking for it. It just clicked.
Yep.
And leading into Daytona, Eric and Jimmy were way ahead of me in conditioning because they were doing shows already, and they looked fantastic. And when I saw them, that was the other thing that clicked for me. They looked so good that it impressed me so much that I 100% dove into whatever Jason told me to do. I did. So the last 3 weeks into the Hurricane, we were talking every day, every morning at 5 a.m. I was sending him pictures, and I don't like sending pictures.
Sure.
I don't like it. I just don't do. I hate it. But it was like the first 3 weeks leading into Daytona, my body changed a lot, and then somewhere around just before Daytona into the Hurricane, I was like getting all excited, like, wow, I'm seeing shit I haven't seen in a long time. The
Love it.
weight was getting smaller. My vacuum, I could actually control my stomach. And we did a few things we did that he completely cut my red meat out. He completely cut my protein in half. I went from 8 ounces down to 4.5 ounces. And
Okay.
I don't know about that. I don't know about lowering my protein, but it just made my waistline smaller, and nothing happened. I didn't lose any size. I actually got
Yeah.
tighter, fuller. I got more detailed. So going back to like asking people questions and stuff, here's Jason, who's been in the game way shorter than I am, and he taught me a few things, which I'm grateful for. And I feel like, we met at the right time. So, going into the Hurricane, it was like, I was getting excited like day by day from Wednesday into the show. Even before that, when I got into Florida, I think Tuesday I got into Florida, and it was just changing tighter. I was getting tighter, and it's getting and I must have tripled my food leading into the show. I couldn't
Wow. Okay.
I couldn't eat. I was like, this is a lot of food, but it just presented a great look. Everything was crisp. It was dry. The only one mistake I made, I think what happened was I ate so much that my metabolism was cranking so much that, this show was prejudging was at, I believe, 5 p.m. and the finals right after.
Okay.
And I just missed. I shouldn't say I missed time. That I fucked up. I didn't take any food with me after the prejudging because I thought it was going to be real quick into the finals, and there was like 3 hour gap. So I got a little flat for the finals, but I still pulled off a win, and that taught me a lesson. So it's not something that I walk away with, and I regret doing that. I walk away going, okay, now you got to be prepared. And anybody out there is going to go, you should have known that. And yes, I should have known that. But I was so like caught up in the moment with getting everything
Sure.
ready, prejudging. I miscalculated that part.
So Vin, we got a little chatter here going on here. So I'm going to share some questions here, and then we'll go back to obviously the rest of the journey here at the Hurricane. So Greg, who follows us both, he says, "What part of prep did you learn in your 50s you wish you knew when you were younger?"
So first off, I like your name, GL2388. I have it tattooed on my arm here, 238. That number follows me everywhere I go. So pretty cool. What did I learn in my 50s that I wish I knew when I was younger? I would have to say that I learned how to train better. I learned how to put a 5 rep program together, increasing the weight, using heavier weight as you go on, and then go into failure. Almost kind of like a Mike Menser, Dorian Yates kind of training program. I wish I was doing that a long time ago. I train a lot less these days, where it's probably maybe if it's 4 days a week, usually it's three. I do a push pull legs and carbohydrates. I respond very well to them. On paper, it says in your 50s, your pancreas can't handle high carbohydrates.
Sure.
Well, that's a bullshit term. What's the term?
Statement, philosophy.
Statements. So yeah. Well, maybe not bullshit, but it didn't apply to me. I could eat a lot of carbohydrates, and the more the better. And my body works better on lower protein. And this prep, I learned a lot about nutrition that I thought I already knew about will work for me. And again, everybody knows that every prep is different, but I'm excited to, and we could talk about this later, but I'm excited to start off season, and which I haven't done yet. I'm going to actually, I'm staying a little tight. I'm guest posing this weekend down in Harrisburg at the Northern USA for Todd Howe.
Okay. So here's another one. He says, I'm doing my first show here. When do I have to cut water for a show? Now, I know you're a philosopher on cutting water, Vinny, but I'll let you speak on it. And should I hire a coach for my first show?
Never cut your water. Never. You could do one of two things. If you're drinking a gallon of water through your prep a couple of days before, maybe on Monday, up until Wednesday, Thursday, shows on Saturday, increase your water to 1.5 gallons to 2 gallons. And then maybe the day before the contest, cut it back down to 1 gallon. Your body will think you're still drinking 2 gallons of water, and you'll excrete all of that, and it'll come out, and you'll pee your brains out, and you'll get drier. But if you cut your water, you are going to become flat. Never cut your water, ever. And you should be using sea salt and salt in your food with every meal you have. So you want that. The water and the sodium is what we're scared to use for our physique, and that's what we should be like utilizing through our whole prep. It's the carbohydrates. When I say I use a lot of carbohydrates, I also go on low carb days too. I mean, I have 100-day carbs. I have 400-day carbs. It's about rotation, which burns the body fat, and you got to find that happy medium for everyone's individual, but never cut your water.
Okay. And then a good friend Bill here saying, looking forward to, congratulations, Vinny. He says, Tokyo, here we come. And I think I saw a post today that Bill's getting ready for a show here soon.
Yeah, man. Billy's taking a page from my book of injuries. He tore his both quads a couple of years
last year,
ago.
the year before, yeah.
2 years ago. And it's been a struggle for him. And he's got a real big support team. He's 67 years old.
God bless him.
And yeah, man. He's been, it's more up here, it's more up here. And we deal with that every day. And, the adversary comes in and says, we can't do it. And, I know Billy, and Billy says, go fuck yourself. And, every day Billy's trudging away and training hard. And I've seen him go from, depressed in the hospital bed to back with a bar under his back and on his back squatting. And, my hat's off to him. At 67, he's going to do this. There's a lot of people out there that wouldn't even entertain the idea of trying to, put yourself through that. I always say to people, when you train for a bodybuilding contest, you have to look at it this way. When you get in a car, everybody understands pushing 90 miles an hour on the thruway. But when you're training for a contest, you're going 400 miles an hour every day.
Yep.
And and sometimes there's people get in your way, and you got to just plow them over, and you got to do your thing. Some people might not understand that comment, but if you're dieting and you understand, if you're in a zone, you know what I'm talking about. And Billy's been in a zone, and it's been inspirational,
Yeah. Vinny, my new term is age is just a number. It shouldn't be a feeling.
So going back, you're looking like this. So Monday before the Hurricane Pro, I got into a car accident, and I was dead stop on Route 17 in Paramus, and it was bumper to bumper traffic. And I look up, I'm talking to my sister Charlotte on the phone, and I look up, oof, I see this kid flying, boom, smacks right into the back of me. Just messes up my whole car, takes me to the hospital. They check me out, x-rays and everything. And the nurse, she was waiting for somebody like me to come in to rip me a new ass, to tell me what I do is wrong and is bad. And
Of course.
she asked me, first she said to me, and I told her, you can't ask me these questions. She asked me, first, she said, what medications are you on? And I'm like, none. She goes, what do you mean none? You're 57 years old. Are you on this, and this? I'm like, I don't even know what you're talking about. I'm not on any medication. And I go, oh, wait, I am. And she had a gleam in her eye. And I go, I have acid reflux, so I'm Presnol. I take it. I take it when I know I'm going to eat bad. So I said, but I'm on a great diet right now, and I haven't had to use it. So she goes, did you get vaccinated? Are you due for your vaccines? I said, no. I said, I haven't had one vaccination in my life, and it's going to stay that way. And she was like, what are you talking about? I'm like, you can't ask me these questions. Stop right there. But yeah, I mean, I told her, she said to me something about being in pain and being older. I said, it doesn't matter. Everyone's going to be in pain. I'd rather look good being in pain. Yeah.
So the other question too, Vinny, the gentleman asked, should he hire a coach for his first show? It's a financial thing too.
Okay, that's a loaded question. That's your prerogative if you want to hire a coach.
Yeah.
But if you hire a coach, or if you don't hire a coach, let's go with this way. If you don't hire a coach, figure out a game plan. 15 years ago, there were no coaches. Dorian Yates did it on his own. Sean Ray did it on his own. You can do it on your own too. In the beginning, I did it on my own. Didn't do it right, but I did it on my own. And whether it's right or wrong, you are going to learn your body. And you're not going to have anybody telling you what to do. That's the good thing. But if you go that route, do not ask a million people for advice, because you're going to get a million different answers. And it's going to confuse the hell out of you.
Yeah.
Now, you get a coach. Don't ask a million questions to other people. Don't question your coach. Have a conversation with your coach. If a coach says, we're going to cut your sodium out 3 days before and cut your water out, there has to be a logical reason for that, and there is none. There is none. So you have to get a coach that knows bodybuilding, because there's a lot of people today in our industry that are coming from social media that can put together a diet and get people in shape, but they don't understand having a client lose weight and having a client get in condition are two different worlds.
Exactly.
You got to understand that. So you need a bodybuilding coach. You can't go using some person who just knows how to get people in shape. You don't want that. You want to get in condition. And there's a big difference. Anybody can lose weight, but not everybody can get in condition. When you lose weight, doesn't mean you look good. When you get in condition, you look good, and you possibly also lose weight too. But that's not what we're here for. No judge is going to ask you what you weigh, unless you're going into a weight class. You got to make a weight. But I mean, no, you need to look good for a show. And the second thing, one of the things, big things I always tell people, and this is something that's from my book, my page, and that I've learned from when I was a middleweight. 176 was the cutoff, and I remember one year I was 180. I think I told you this, Sean. And I looked freakish, and everybody was like, "Oh, you are going to win the middleweight class at the nationals." And for me to lose those 4 pounds to get into the weight class, I look like dog shit.
Yeah.
2 years later. So never try to make a weight class. If you're in amazing condition, go let your physique do its talking on stage. Because when I won the USA many years ago, the weight class was 176 and a quarter. I showed up at 169 and I beat everybody. And it was 50 guys and I won the middleweight class. And then like even at the when I got my pro card years later, 2008, I competed at 195 and I beat the heavyweight and the super heavyweight. So weight is bullshit. It's what you look like. Just focus on.
Vinny, here's another one for you. Are you considering fruits as carbs? I like sweet potatoes as a carb. What's your go-to carbs?
Fruit is not on my diet, except for I have some blueberries in the morning. That's about it with my cream of rice. But I don't eat fruits. Like I don't eat anything like, oranges or apples. I don't eat anything like that during prep. My go-to, so I love cream of rice.
Okay.
Oddly enough, I like putting turkey burgers in it, and actually, I get Carlo Filippone from Chicken Pound. He sends me chicken, and I use his pre-contest chicken, and I actually mix it in cream of rice. It's actually pretty good. I know it sounds disgusting. Maybe it is disgusting. Maybe in a couple of weeks from now, I'm gonna go, what the fuck? But it tastes pretty good while you're on a diet. And I love, I'm not eating them right now. I'm not eating potatoes or sweet potatoes, but I like putting them in an air fryer. They're really good. But my carb sources right now are just basically cream of rice and white rice.
You oatmeal in the morning or no?
I haven't done that in a while.
Okay.
I like doing that more in the off season. I do feel a little bloated from the oatmeal, which I don't mind feeling that way when I'm not thinking about, a contest. But I do like oatmeal because I like to put the blueberries in there, and it tastes good.
And if you want to learn how to microwave a potato, go to your Instagram account.
Yeah, you know what? People were asking me, like, that's so stupid. Why don't you just put it in an oven? And you missed the point. The point I was trying to make was when you put it in the microwave for 3 minutes, take it out, wrap it up in tin foil. This is the meal for later when you don't have time to get to an oven. It's for later. It's not that. So it didn't make sense, I guess, to some people. But
I think you left that out, Vinny, because I think everybody was thinking you're going to open it right then and there while you're rewrapping it. But I think we missed that spot, me included.
Oh, okay. Then I will do another video. I'm going to do a video. I'm going to fix that.
All right, so let's go back to the Hurricane Pro. You're in 3 classes.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know how it runs, but they bring you up for the comparisons and the judging for class 1, class 2, class 3, 3 different times, correct?
So I was in the 55. Everybody walks off stage when they're done. 50s come out. Everybody walks off stage when they're done. Then the 40s came out. My whole thing, here's what happened. So with the car accident, my sciatica, and it still is today, right now, it's bothering me down my right leg. Last week it was bothering me down my left foot. And now it's on my right leg. And the only purpose I was going to the contest was to win the 40. And I made the last minute decision to say, I'm going to pull out a 55 and 50 and give my energy to the 40 and over.
Why 40? Why just 40 and not?
Because the 40 qualifies you for the Olympia.
Got it. Okay.
The other age groups does not.
Okay.
So then I got back to the contest, and an athlete came up to me and said, dude, I think some people heard you pull out a 55 and 40, and a bunch of guys are now jumping into the 40 to compete against you. I'm like, what? So I walked back over to the table and said, hey, put me back in the 55 and 50. If that guy never walked over to me, I would never have gone in the 55 and 50. I would never have done it because I didn't know. They said, yeah. He goes, yeah, they said. He goes, well, these guys were talking, and they said, Vinny Galanti was off at the Daytona, and he's beatable today.
Surprise.
Oh, yeah? Okay. So I went back over and I said, well, now I'm going to piss everybody off and win all 3. No, I didn't say that. I had no idea I was going to win all three. But I mean, I just was like, oh, now I'm getting competitive. Like the jerk in me came out. You know, like the old Vinny came out, and I'm like, fuck that. I'm going to go all three. So I went back over to the table and said, can I get back in? Like, be honest with you, we didn't even take you out. We messed up. So you know, you're in. So yeah, so I had fun with it. I mean, it was really good.
Okay, so wait. So you, the 40 was the first one that you won. No.
First 55s come out.
Okay.
And we lined up. There was a good amount of guys in the class, and they put me in the middle and moved people around me. That was great. It was a good feeling, you know. Anybody who's been in that position, being put in the middle after you're getting your ass kicked for a few shows.
Yep.
I mean, it was really good feeling, just a really good feeling. And
are you thinking in your head that you're winning the 55? Are you that comfortable, or you just kind of?
No, I was not. Because Eric Berger looked amazing.
Sure.
They put him on the side of me. They were moving people around. You can't tell when you're on stage. When you're backstage and you're seeing everybody, you know, I saw Eric progress over the year.
Yeah.
He's great. He's a good friend of mine, and you know, we have a good relationship, a healthy relationship. And you know, he wants to beat me, and I want to beat him. And we even said that backstage, you know, about beating each other.
Yeah.
He's going to do the Atlantic Coast in a couple of weeks, and I believe he's going to be doing Classic because the judges gave him a lot of feedback about being in Classic, and you know, I want to see him in Japan with me. That would be fucking awesome, you know, because we've been on this journey for a while now, and so yeah, you know, I don't know when I'm standing there. I got off stage, went back out for the 50, different group of guys, and some of the same guys, and they put me in the middle again, and then in the 40, Steve said, nobody stand inside the box, because they put me in the box.
Yeah, okay.
And he said, move over. So I think Eric was to my left and I was to his right, and the box was empty. There was guys to my right and there was guys to his left. And, you know, and Steve really grilled us, man. We were posing. We did every comparison a good amount of times. And you know, and we're getting ready for the Olympia. So I think he wanted to see who was going to break first.
Yep.
And, you know, he had to do that. And so I didn't know, you know, I had no idea. And when I won the 55, I thought, okay, I have all three. Because when Eric took second, he was in all three. So I thought, okay, that's the way it's going to roll. You know, I'll be first, he'll be second.
Yep. Okay. So now you told me what was the award for the cup? What level? What was that for? 40 or?
Right there.
What was that the price for? 40 or 50 or 55?
That was for 40.
Okay.
Yeah. The 55 and the 50 were the medallion.
And I know I asked you this on the phone, and I don't know if you've thought about it. How does that compare to Beast of the East? Because I know those are pretty good trophies.
No, the Beast of the East is like, you know, from my childhood. I was like
but still though.
Yeah, that's you know, back in the day, you training for trophies and training for name recognition, and you know, I didn't know anything about the nationals back then or the USA. I didn't know it was a stepping stone. I had no idea. So to win the Beast of the East back then, that was a trophy you trained, like you chased that.
Okay.
I wasn't chasing this cup. I was chasing the qualification for the Masters Olympia. But
was that on display? Was that on display somewhere backstage? You guys visually see it?
Yeah, well, let me tell you something kind of funny. So when I was a teenager, my second contest was the Team Jersey Cup, and it was in Colonial, New Jersey, and I won the cup. Right, I took first place in the lightweight class, the team class, and they gave us nice size cups. It was the actual cup. So my dad, every contest after that, he's like, "You gonna go train for another cup? You gonna train for another cup?" I'm like, "Dad, that was just one thing. I don't know. They don't give all cups out. You know, it's trophies."
Yeah.
So he'd always say that. And yeah, I just like I had this thing in my head that I wanted to win a cup. I had no idea that he was giving out a cup. When I got backstage and I looked over, I saw the cup. And if I don't have my glasses on, I can't see any, I can't read anything. So I saw this girl. I said, "Hey, can I borrow your glasses for a second?" And it made it even worse. I couldn't even see what the thing said. It was worse. So I said, "Can you read that?" And she read it. I'm like, I looked up, said, "This one's for you, Dad. I'm getting this later." And then I walked away. Yeah, so it was pretty cool.
How'd you transport it home? Because you flew, I'm assuming.
I walked proudly through the airport with it.
Did you get it its own seat?
It did. It got a little cabinet up in the front. They said, "We need to take this and put this away." I'm like, I was holding it. I'm like, no. No.
You say, "Sheila, go sleep on the couch. I'm sleeping with the cup tonight."
Exactly. So, I can't remember the girl's name, but I was at one of the workshops for Steve Weinberger at Bev's gym. And she said something. Oh, somebody asked her a question about competing and, knowing why you're doing what you're doing. And she said, you have to remember your why. Remember your why. And that was a big, big thing for me this year. I remembered my why. And my niece Christy battled melanoma, and something pretty significant happened she passed away. But something that happened for me was, we all hear people talk about, people battling cancer. Understand, like, what battle? What are you talking about? Until you see it, until you are firsthand with someone who's going through it, right? And she hung in there. She kept battling and battling and battling. She has a daughter, and she wanted to live for her and raise her and be a mom. That's all she ever wanted to be, was a mom. And my niece had cardiomyopathy. She had a heart transplant when she was 12 years old. So the medication, after 33 years, ultimately caught up with her and caused her to have melanoma from the medication. And she didn't get it from the sun. So one day, she had her bandana come off, and I saw her head, and she only had hair on the bottom, so it looked like she had hair. And that just hit me hard, because she's like my best friend.
Yeah.
And I grew up with her. She's only 6 years younger than me. My sisters are all 16, 14, and almost 11 years older than me. So Christy was 6 years younger than me. We grew up together. And I saw that. And then when I started thinking about competing, I want to win a show just for her. And then it just escalated from there. So
that's awesome.
This prep was, secretly in my own mind every day driving to work. I'd have conversations with her. If you saw me talking, I was talking to Christy every day. I was either praying or talking to Christy, and just like, hope you're proud of me, things like that.
Love it. Love it. So going into 25 now, we've got, is it August? Is that what the Olympia is in August?
August 23rd in Tokyo, Japan.
So are you thinking about any tune-up shows, or you're just going to kind of prep and get ready for that one show next year? Or have you thought that far?
No, I haven't thought that far yet. And obviously I won't make any announcements if I do. And I talked to Jason already about this. And when we pick a contest, it will not be a tune-up show.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to train for it. I'm going to train to win, and then build upon that into the Olympia. Because the progress I've made in the last 2 weeks, just like a little experiment leading into this guest posing, he's been having me eat more food. And no, I'm not as sharp as the contest, but I'm in pretty good shape. I'm in really good shape still. But we've learned a few things that I can eat even a lot more food. So this was a good learning curve, this whole prep and these past 2 weeks. So I don't even know the schedule yet. They didn't even put it out. But I assume there's going to be some add-ons and some extra master shows. I think like I look at the Toronto Pro, and that's 35 and over. I have fantasies of competing in a regular 212 show, but it's got to be I'm not my heart isn't in that because I think those days have passed me, and I have to be realistic. Those days are behind me now,
Yep.
in the open. So I'll probably stick with. I, I I'd like to lean towards something really difficult, something like a 35 and over,
Yeah.
to be competitive in with younger guys, but yet they're still masters. They're not 22, but they're 37. So there's a big difference. So if I can hang in the top 5 in a show like that, it would be pretty cool, leading into the Olympia.
That's something too that I don't know if some people have noticed on your Instagram that you've generally been an open bodybuilder, but now you're going to do 212 for the Olympia, correct?
Yes, yeah. So that's where they put me. They
Right.
they believe that's where I belong, and I'm happy about it because I can't compete against these monsters. I stood on stage with those guys, and it's like looking at 3D and muscle. It's just like those guys are just so big. I have an illusion to my physique. I have good lines. I have good symmetry, and I look very small, like in a t-shirt, and then I appear bigger on stage,
Yeah.
the lights and stuff. So, I'm just gonna train really heavy. I'm gonna do something a little different for this prep. First, in November 18th, I'm actually having a minor surgery. I have a lipoma right here coming out of my arm. I had it cut out last year, but it grew back, so I have to actually have surgery now. So I'm gonna have that done. I'm gonna probably take 3 weeks off from the gym. Reevaluate after that. Because I don't think I need 2 months. I don't think I can afford that. I'm not burnt out now. I'm pretty fresh, so I think 3 weeks will be good. I'll get on a treadmill every day for about 20 minutes just to keep the blood flowing, and then ease back into it and just see where this is at with the stitches and everything. I don't want to, damage that.
And
So,
with the Masters, am I hearing right that that there might be some guest invites, but there's also qualifications? Is that right?
I don't know. So, I know that I believe whatever you win, you're in, right?
Okay.
But then a guy like who maybe hasn't competed in 10 years, 2 years, or still active, can write in and request to be in it.
Okay. Because I know your post today or yesterday with the 212 qualifiers, it looks like there's already 8 or 9 people, and there's going to be
Yeah.
more shows next year. So I don't know how deep they want to go, but you're in good company just looking at the list off the bat.
Oh yeah, I'm in good company, and I'm sure a lot more names will be added to the list. And I'm not like last year. I said, "Oh, I hope I crack top 10." I'm not even worried about any of that. I'm not worried about who's in it. I'm gonna go be the best Vinny G could be and have fun. And I'm gonna read this to you guys. This is the Olympia. This is the qualification system for the Olympia. So the qualification period starts on August 28th, 2023, and ends on August 17th, 2025. The following athletes qualify. So top 5 from last year's Masters Olympia, and winner of the 40-plus class only in each division at a Masters Pro contest held during that qualification period.
Okay.
Additionally, athletes who must be 40 years of age or older will be selected based on applications submitted between February 1st, 2025 and April 30th, 2025 in the following 4 divisions: men's bodybuilding, 212, women's bodybuilding, and women's fitness. But it doesn't say anything about classic, so I don't know.
What if classic's so new though? I don't know if there's anybody like in their 50s in the. Well, I don't know. It's interesting.
Yeah, so I don't know. I think so far on that list, there's a lot of classic guys in it.
And it sounds like as we wrap up here, it sounds like you've had a lot of success with Jason. That maybe he's going to stick with you maybe for next year or help you out somewhat.
He's my coach.
Okay.
We're good. We talked today. We talked every day. He's leading me into this guest posing again, and then He knows I'm having a little minor surgery. I
Yep.
said to him, I'm not good with downtime, and I need structure. I need you to tell me exactly what to do because I'll eat whatever the fuck is in the refrigerator. I'm not joking. I'm bad.
You just keep reiterating, I'm Italian, bro. I'm in Jersey. I'm Italian. Enough said.
Hey, my friend John Giaquinto owns an Italian restaurant, Italian deli right around the corner from where I work. And it's last year after the Masters Olympia, I must have ate there 4 days in a row, and oh my god, my head blew up. So yeah.
Oh my God. So Vin, anything else here? I know it's been good catching up. It's been way overdue, but I mean, anything else going on here? We want to, as we wind down.
No, we're good. Just looking forward to a little downtime. I'm going with my family next week to see the Dallas Cowboys in Dallas play the Eagles. Where the Eagles
Okay.
will probably kill the Dallas Cowboys because they suck right now. But we're gonna make a family trip out of it, have some fun, eat, relax, and then I have my little procedure, take some time off, and then December start coming back.
You're a football fan. You're not a Yankees fan, are you?
I'm actually a Yankee and Met fan because when Christy was getting her heart transplant, the Mets came into the hospital, so I got to meet Lenny Dykstra, Dwight Gooding, all those guys.
Wow.
And the first time I ever had sushi was with those guys in back in 1986. So
The winning year. That's awesome.
Yeah. And I met them only a couple of times, and I felt that I needed to be a Met fan. You know, I felt bad not being a Met fan, but I'm really a Yankee fan. I'm both. I hope they do well tonight.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. But Vin, it's always good seeing you, my friend. And as always, make sure you like, subscribe, and follow here. And if you want us back, let us know. We had fun tonight, and hopefully we'll start it up again.
Yeah, maybe we'll start doing this once a month again. I don't want to do it every weekend, every Wednesday.
Sounds good. And everybody, thank you so much for chiming in, and thanks for the great questions. Have a good night.
If anybody wants to reach out to me, it's Vinny Galanti _ on Instagram, and just hit me up.
Perfect. And I'll Sup Talk _ radio. Have a great night.
Good night, guys.